Hey there, welcome back. I know I've been gone for a while again. It just seems to be my habit or my energy. Sometimes it's going along and sometimes it's fatigued and fogged in my brain. But I wanted to come back, and right now I'm wanting to share something I thought was going to be more personal, but I think is going to be helpful to others as well. It's a video in which I'm doing some art therapy for myself and around a problem with my vision. I've been having vision therapy again recently, and I'll talk about in the video what that is. It has to do with my divergent distant vision on the left side. And this is going to be like a part 2 to the freedom discussions. I didn't know that that was the case, and it's part of why I'm deciding to publish this, because there was an aspect of freedom that ended up arising. So we're going to go into the video that I created. I have edited it quite a bit to leave out the long pauses, and it's just more personal stuff for myself. So other than that, I think we're ready to go. I am going to do this intro, and then I'm going to do an outro to explain part of the transition from doing the art therapy and the drawing for myself, and why I think it's important on this discussion of freedom. So if you don't want the in-between, you could skip to the outro to see what I'm doing next with this. But it seems like I'm going to be on a path of discovery within this, and I'm sharing that path, and I'm hoping that it's going to be helpful for you as well. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. So I've drawn some cards. That show support and my own ability to see. And at first I was a little confused by that, and then I just looked up the word divergence, which is a problem with my vision. That I'm having particular difficulty with divergence, which is seeing in your distance binocular vision on the left side. So I'm currently doing a lifesaver exercise where you're converging or diverging lifesaver-like images together. And I'm having particularly difficulty, like I said, on the left side. As I move the card to the left, it will not hold together binocularly. So with that understanding and these cards, I'm thinking that because the left eye is associated with the right brain and the sensing and the feeling, that equates for me as I'm resisting seeing off into the distance, seeing or feeling off into the distance. Again, I think I'm having issues with divergence or seeing binocularly in the distance, particularly on the left side. So because it's the feeling sensing side, I'm thinking about what is it I don't know about, or not willing to take in about my distant environment. Almost feels like it could be that I want to create a boundary. Maybe that I'm trying to create an energetic boundary. I don't know how that would serve me. Well, I mean, creating an energetic boundary would serve me by not overwhelming my systems. But if there is something that I'm avoiding by taking that information in, I'm thinking about a friend of mine who believes that we were oracles in a past life, and something went wrong that destroyed our people. So there's something wrong, or I'm protecting myself from doing something again based on my inner knowing. Of perhaps foretelling. There's the child card, which is what I thought this issue was related to. This is, I believe, Met Your True Feelings, that I'm referencing the right brain as the part of the connection here, and it's holding feelings that I don't want to maybe acknowledge or understand at the moment. So now I'm gonna write my intention, as that's gonna be for this drawing that I'm gonna do. What's preventing clear divergence particularly on my left side. And I'm going to ground. Taking a deep breath in and grounding from my heart center down deep into the earth. And from my heart center far up into the universe and wide throughout my energy field with love, gratitude, joy, and compassion. Taking this intention into my heart, what's preventing clear divergence, particularly on my left side? Now I'm just going to allow my body to do the drawing. I'm not drawing anything in particular. I'm just allowing it to flow. And as I open my eyes, I'm particularly interested in the color here. So I think I'm gonna kind of do something and correspond with that. The movement reminds me of when I used to have the auric type migraines without pain. And the fuzziness of that experience. And how it would cause, I don't know, the blind spots, obstructions in the vision. A lot of movement just wants to happen. It kind of makes me think of static electricity. Now it's making me think of a chicken. Kind of a chicken breast. Magic chicken, magic chicken, magic chicken with all kinds of colors. I can't remember exactly what the experience was of that auric migraine, but it seems like, oh, the vision was kind of blocked. Which is what I think I'm experiencing, or what I've referencing here is that I think that something in my distant vision that I don't want to see maybe seeing something in the distance is distant, like future, not distance vision, I feel is harmful. Rooster crows. It's alerting everyone in a way. Alerts itself loudly. And now I'm thinking of the heron that I saw when I was on a walk this past Sunday at the Twelton Hills Nature Park. And it was sitting on a branch in a different kind of stance than I've seen before. I guess his wings were partially open to the sun, and he looked regal. There's a lot of pride in the breast being stuck out. Makes me think about times when I feel that I am so very right, but that's not necessarily the case. I suppose it could be reference to myself being a chicken, about what I might share. In reference to having been ridiculed much of my childhood, coming from Oregon and living in Wyoming. I don't want to risk that ridicule again. The heron was just sitting on the branch in all of his regalness, because I believe he also watched me as I watched him. Perhaps the chicken is starting to fade away in my life as I gain more friendships and I have more people in my life. As I smudge this drawing, it seems like the chicken itself transformed a bit into that heron, the bill being longer. And something about how his wings were open. I think herons actually have more atop their heads than chickens do. But I also think that as I was putting this here, I may have been thinking about peacock. Seems to be an eye there, but I'm just gonna darken a little bit if I can. Can be tricky. Next, guess I feel like this vibrates outwards. Feeling something in my heart center and the lower part of my throat, maybe 4 inches above my heart center. Maybe in my shoulder area, maybe with regard to my wings, or the wings of the bird. And this being a breath, it's the vibration of breathing in. And my attention is being drawn to the yellow again. Maybe it's like calming the static electricity. That was underneath. And this looks like a pathway. I think I meant to do that, but there it is, huh? The blending of the yellows and the purples. Now it makes me think of the duck that was there at the park, water. Ducks kind of have some plumage, but not this much. But if he was on the water, this would be the shape of something floating in the water. Some ducks have more plumage than others. It seemed like there's still that long snout though. More loom-like maybe. Floating, and then this is like the waves in the water. The ripples. Ripples, not waves. Vibration of the water. Maybe I should do some water consciousness on this question. The term golden duck is not what I thought I was going to say, I don't think. Golden duck, golden egg. You know, this looks Egyptian. What is it, the ibis? Maybe there's something ancient about this. Just sort of seeing, just lightly, kind of a portal. Maybe this has something to do with what I was feeling between my heart center and my throat. Maybe I'm nervous about opening some kind of portal. Opening a pathway. Like once you open it, you can't close it. I'm noticing this line wasn't drawn straight, but I like its curve. Maybe this one wasn't drawn very straight as well. Now it's making me think of a cave. Actually, this all kind of was making me think of a cave, but now there's kind of like this tunnel effect in here. Like it's an earth, side of an earthen wall. Yeah, it makes me think of a book that I have. What's it called? It's got meditations in it though. Something Insights, I think. I wonder how I got that book. I'm also feeling like this might be a tube. Might be the outside of a tube, as well as a cave. Definitely some kind of portal. It's time for the portal to be opened. I've been thinking this mostly today. I was going to say this week, but mostly today, that I'm dropping my stubbornness about taking better care of myself. I have more willingness to be in a process of healing again. I haven't been particularly good at the practices that I was engaged in a lot when my brain was having a lot of dysfunction. And I'm having more willingness to devote attention to that. So maybe that is opening this portal. I'm remembering some of the things I wanted to bring forward. Things related to a trip I took to the UK and Ireland, and the breath work that I did after I got back. That I was told by a medium of something that I'd created. And in using that breath work, I had a spontaneous soul retrieval. I don't know that I've fully or properly worked with that aspect and honoring it, other than it was something cool that happened with my voice. I feel that sensation that's above my heart again. I'm noticing that this opening is down to the left, and this part is up to the right. And my problems, though, would be, in my perception, in the upper left. It feels like this chicken, heron, duck, loon is now in the background, and the portal is on top. Feeling some sensation in my head, and remembering I was going to do a body map before this. Always seems to be so many things that I am either interested in or want to pursue, and I have a difficulty holding them all in my consciousness at one time, or I get overwhelmed by all of them, and therefore I don't do anything, and then time goes by and I feel like I haven't done anything. So I keep feeling that sensation kind of up near my throat that I want to somehow indicate here. I want to say, like, it feels like heart center is in this area, and then that sensation is up here. Doesn't want to go down into that portal though. Only to the right. Didn't want to go left. Doesn't want to go any up anymore. Not down. Yeah, that's it. Almost feels like it's going underneath this portal in the background, kind of like a wave. It's an undertone. It's under the heart surface. I think I'm going to take a moment to do a body map. Okay, with regard to the question, intention, what's preventing clear divergence, particularly on my left side? Now I'm feeling something right in my throat. It feels, well, it feels light colored, and it feels like the energy is going up, down, and out. So it feels like connectedness. And what was the other word? It's throbbing. choky. Hardness. Anything else I'm missing here? Okay. Is there anything else in the body that wants to show up for this? Down at my heart center. Oh, this is kind of like a blockage. And it extends down to my heart center. I think that's referring to breath work between the two. And probably it feels like it refers to the breath work I was talking about. That happened through my brain living. So now I see yellow. Feels like protection. Or confirmation. Of the aspects, you know. Scanning down my body for other sensations. Doesn't feel like there are any other sensations in my body, but there does kind of feel like a boundary. Between the upper and lower. There's kind of a pain in my mid-back. I hesitated for what color. And then also realizing it's the color of the page that I chose. And it feels like not being able to fully support myself. So now I'm wondering if I'm complete and I'm no longer feeling the choky sensation, and took a deep breath, so I think that I am. And the way that I would normally work with this is to work with the most positive aspect, which I would say is the protection. But I think it's also telling me that moving forward with the breath work at this time is what is important. Because I feel that might be the ancient connection that's coming up here. Maybe this is telling me to move forward in the direction that the bird is moving forward, and maybe it's not necessary to delve into that particular aspect, but move forward with my heart and my voice and my breath. I have been thinking that it's coming time, and the way that I've been noticing it over a couple of years is how the language is changing. There's more acknowledgement, maybe a sense of people being ready, and the ways that I can have conversations with, and the depths of where I can go with them. So I guess the answer to what's preventing clear divergence, particularly on my left side, is I just need to move forward. With the things that I'm doing. I'm continuing to tell my story, sharing the breath work, exercising my voice and my heart without fear, because I am protected. Although there is this aspect of not being able to fully support myself. I'm now in my mom's home, so I'm fully supported in some aspects, well, in spiritual aspects as well as physical aspects. And I'm not sure that before this time whether some of this would have been accepted, I guess, or not fully heard or valued. So with that, I think I am complete with this. Thank you to my spirit guides, helpers, and protective energies. hopefully I will move forward. Namaste. Okay, so I hope that you found something within that process for myself that might be useful, either from the message that came out or that you could use for yourself. It's a process that anybody can use, and I highly encourage it. But for me, there were a couple of things that came out, which I alluded to in the video, but then I wanted to be a little more explicit about. And so I mentioned a book that I was reminded of in the video, and I have that here, and let's see if we can get it to the camera. Hopefully that's showing the right way. It's The Temples of Light, an Initiatory Journey into the Heart Teachings of the Egyptian Mystery Schools. And this, I think, was, I was finding remembrance in that because of the ibis, and there was, I remember mentions of meditations which are in this particular book that I feel are going to be helpful on my path. The other thing that was coming through in relation to the Egyptian reference was with regard to the ibis. And I looked up the ibis and found that it is in fact related to the heron that also came up within the timing of this journey, and that it was Thoth that took the head of an ibis. And Thoth apparently wrote the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which happens to be another book that I have. This Awakening Cyrus book, the Egyptian Book of the Death, and apparently Thoth wrote this book, or was involved in writing, not this particular book, but the original Egyptian Book of the Dead. This would be a translation of that. So another thing, however, that I did was I did kind of a what I call non-dominant hand dialoguing, and yet for me, I find that I write the question and the answer comes, and I don't need to use my left hand, which is useful because it's kind of difficult to do. But there were some things that I thought I would share with that respect, which should help to bridge that gap between why I'm sharing this at all and where I'm intending to go, which the intention is to go within these two books. I don't know exactly in what order or how, but that is what I'm thinking for this time being. So there were some questions that I was dialoguing with the aspect in the drawing that was between this jugular aspect, what's that called? Notch. The jugular notch and my heart center. So it was that area that I was concentrating on to ask questions about. And so one of the questions that I asked was, so what is the Egyptian connection? And the answer was, go deeper into the meditations to find out. So those the meditations that are in the Temples of Light book that it's referencing. So I'm having guidance to go into those meditations. And then I asked, besides the meditations, what should I do to explore this more? which was art therapy, breath work, movement, sound, and ecstatic dance. The next question was, what do you need? And the answer is love, compassion, forgiveness for the unkind things and burdens you have put upon yourself, freedom from self-oppression, freedom from cultural desires, freedom from old ways of doing things, from the status quo. Be ready to bring in the new, little by little, day by day. This will in turn help others. Freedom to connect with your foresight and inner knowing. And lastly, I asked, what else do I need to know? Do not kill your inner vision, inner knowing. Understand the ways that you have been that K is not very apparent here. Let's try that again. Understand the ways that you have been willingly killing yourselves. So these are all factors that have come after the drawing in the video with the intention of bringing myself deeper into resolving my particular issue, but it sounds like there's pieces and parts in here that are going to be helpful for others as well. So if you're willing to go on this journey with me, I welcome you to another video soon, I hope. Thank you. Bye now.